You know, it's time we have a talk about this nonsense right here. You know, the funny thing about the anti-woke crowd is that they are now the woke crowd. In everything they watch, in everything they see, they seek out things that they can be offended by. But they're worse, and I'm gonna tell you why. These people all masquerade as alpha bros, right? They're supposed to be the tough guys, but look how fragile they are if they even perceive that they're threatened by something. These clowns are trying to figure out how a child's film addressing the issue of children today being more fixated on technology than actual toys is woke. They want it to be something they can be offended by because they know that there will be a crowd for it, salivating like Pavlovian dogs at the promise of something new for them to also be offended by. But the grift has run so dry, and it is a grift, that they now, in these thumbnails I'm showing you, are photoshopping or AIing imagery that never even happens in the movie to try to validate the ridiculous point they want to make for their audiences that are already primed to applaud and bark like circus seals. Look, I hated the wokeness as much as the next normal person. It was annoying, it was whiny, it sucked. But so do these guys. They're whiny, they're annoying, and they suck. And Toy Story 5, it was fine. It's a child's movie. One that many of us have been around for the last 30 some years. The visuals were better than they've been before. You saw a lot of the faces and names you remember from before, and you were introduced to a couple new characters. But the best thing about it was its premise. It demands the audience who are taking their children to see it confront the idea of how much screen time is too much screen time. But it also makes us confront the reality that times change, things change, and somewhere you have to find a happy medium.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over them mountains? Yeah, coach would have put me in fourth quarter. We'd have been state champions, no doubt. No doubt in my mind. Kip, I reckon you know a lot about cyberspace. You ever come across anything like time travel?
It wasn't trying to become a new religion like the wokeness and the anti-wokeness. It just held up a mirror to what our society has become, how parenting has evolved or devolved depending on your perspective. And it did it while entertaining actual children and apparently enraging adults who act like children. But for all their whining and all their complaining and all their grifting,
surprise, motherfucker,
Toy Story 5 went on to make $160 million on its opening weekend domestically and become the largest opening weekend for the Toy Story franchise as a whole. So either the mantra of go woke, go broke has died, or Toy Story 5 was just never woke in the first place. But they all know if they grind the organ, you'll dance like trained monkeys. But for that crowd, I say good news, everyone. Enough time has passed since the original Toy Story, and enough space exists between each one of these entries that the next one could honestly feature a middle-aged, divorced Andy that's balding, going through a midlife crisis, and searching the region for all his original toys to use them as props on a set for his YouTube stream where he rages about how everything is woke and it sucks today. And won't that feel right at home?